Hi, Austen Thomson here. In this short video I'm going to show you what I've been doing with a razor lately. Working on long silver hair. We're going to do a haircut working on creating a softer edge on it. Right, so we're starting with a classic 4-quadrant sectioned haircut, and we're going to work more or less at one length, keeping all this pulled down one length, drop it a little bit longer towards the front, but we're going to work using the razor just so that we can create a really nice soft outline on it so it's not too sharp. But again, I'm not using the razor to take weight away, it's really to create softness on the outline. Alright, so a couple of little tips I'd like to give you for razor cutting. First tip is quite obvious, but make sure that you've got a really sharp blade in there, because if you don't have a sharp blade, you're going to be dragging on the hair and you're going to fray out some of the cuticle layer towards the ends, and that is going to cause split ends, so make sure your blade is new. That being said, if your blade is new, watch out for your wee digits, because if you make contact with the blade, you will just open yourself out, and that is going to be a pain in the ass, putting a plaster on midway through a haircut. So another wee tip for you is not to just put the razor in the hair and slide it through it, because you will make it unpleasant and you will fray the hair a little bit. So what we're doing is a little bouncing technique. So we start in the middle, right, and then just scooping and bouncing the blade on the hair, keeping the tension on it. The tension is really important because that means that you can have a cleaner outline. When you pinch the hair as well, it can be quite a nice idea just to give it a little twist, roll it together and then take the blade over it. So there's a little bit more coming away from the centre here than there is at the sides. We want to keep a little bit of weight in behind the sides because we want this haircut, if anything, to get a bit longer towards the front. Obviously there is a much more aggressive way using a razor to cut hair, which I probably would really like to share with you in an up and coming video, but this is a different way of evolving somebody's hair who might have a classic one length. It's just a different way of approaching it, and when you approach a haircut in a different way, then you obviously end up with a different result. So there you can see the guideline where I'm pulling my fingers. So starting in the middle, bouncing out with the razor out to one side. Once in my early career I actually sliced through the back of my nail right through the tip of my finger. Oh, so that made me a little bit cautious about using a razor again, but now I don't really cut myself with it anymore because I'm using blades all the time. So just go easy guys out there, stay vigilant. So this is the second part of this video that I've been working on. My last video upload was showing you a couple of tips on how to brighten silver hair using a Blonde Me detox treatment and the Fibre Cliniques treatment to make it feel pretty banging. Alright, so just spend a bit of time detailing it, check your balance, make sure that the edges are looking pretty even. Then we move on to the side, so take a section that is not too square, runs a little bit longer towards the front, as that's what's going to happen at the length. And it's important to map your sections in to mimic the outline so your sections run parallel to the structure and how you're going to cut it on the ends. So we're going from shorter length at the back into a little bit longer at the front. Same idea, bouncing through the hair. And there's not going to be much coming off the front here, but I think that's important when you get to a part in a haircut and you find that there isn't much coming off. Stay true to your structure, stay disciplined to your technique, and if there isn't much going to come off, don't take it off for the sake of it. If it is just a small amount, then you've already decided what you're going to do. Alright, so connecting the back into the sides, going from slightly shorter at the back into longer at the front. Just bounce cutting through the very edges to loosen that out. Alright, what I'm going to do is lift the hair out, just freehand it, lift a few pieces out and put a really long layer in it. So I'm working at still creating structure in it, but soften it so that it's not all totally one length. So we'll just be lifting out pieces like this. And then a little layer in the bottom. Again, still working on the principle that we're over directing everything back so we keep all the layers longer towards the front.